At 3:17 a.m., Daniel sat alone on the edge of his bed, staring at his phone. One message blinked on the screen. "We regret to inform you." He didn't finish reading it, because this was the 7th rejection in 6 months. Daniel whispered to himself, "Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not good enough." That night, he seriously thought about giving up on his dreams forever. Daniel was an ordinary young man from a small town. He had no money, no powerful connections, no special talent that made him stand out. While everyone around him seemed to be moving forward, Daniel felt like he was stuck in place, running on a treadmill, going nowhere. His friends started their careers, buying cars and moving into new apartments. His family, who once believed in him, slowly lost faith. Their worried looks spoke louder than words. People in his town would smile politely and say things like, "Be realistic, Daniel. Dreams don't pay the bills." He heard it so often, the words started to echo in his own mind. Every day, he would wake up with a glimmer of hope, thinking, today could be the day. But every night, he would go to sleep with a heavy weight of disappointment. Loneliness became his closest companion. The silence in his small room was deafening. Daniel tried everything. He applied for jobs, he took certification exams, he networked until his voice was hoarse. He failed interviews, he failed exams, he failed again and again. Each failure hit harder than the last, chipping away at his confidence. It felt like trying to punch through a brick wall with his bare hands. Sometimes, he'd stand in front of the mirror, looking at his tired reflection, asking, "Why am I even trying? What's the point of all this pain?" The world felt heavy on his shoulders. His mind was exhausted from his heart felt broken into a million tiny pieces. One rainy evening, after receiving yet another rejection email, Daniel found himself sitting on a park bench. The cold rain soaked through his jacket, but he didn't even notice. People with umbrellas hurried past, lost in their own worlds. No one saw the lone figure on the bench, his shoulders slumped in defeat. For the first time in a long time, tears rolled down his face, mixing with the raindrops. He said quietly, to no one but himself, "I'm done." In that moment, he was just one decision away from quitting forever. The dream he had held on to for so long was about to flicker out. As he sat there, ready to give up, his phone buzzed. It wasn't a rejection this time. It was a memory notification from 5 years ago. A picture of a much younger, smiling Daniel, holding a worn-out book written by his hero, a famous entrepreneur who had famously failed hundreds of times before succeeding. Daniel remembered reading that book cover to cover, feeling a fire ignite within him. He remembered the promise he made to his younger self, that no matter what, he would never give up on building a life he was proud of. He looked at the photo, at the hopeful eyes of his past self, and a strange feeling washed over him. It wasn't pity, it was responsibility. He couldn't let that kid down. Wiping the rain and tears from his face, he stood up. The cold didn't bother him anymore. The decision was made, but it wasn't the one he expected. He wasn't done. He was just getting started. The next morning, Daniel woke up before his alarm. He didn't check his email. Instead, he pulled out a blank notebook. At the top of the page, he wrote a new title, Plan B. And he realized his mistake wasn't in dreaming too big, but in thinking there was only one path to get there. He had been so focused on getting a yes from others that he forgot he could say yes to himself. He started small. It took a part-time job that paid the bills, any job. It wasn't glamorous, but it gave him structure and a small bit of income. It freed his mind from the constant financial anxiety. In his free time, instead of sending out hundreds of applications, he focused on one thing, building his own project. It was a small website, a passion project related to his dream industry. He taught himself how to code from free online tutorials, staying up late after his shifts. He wrote articles, created content, and shared his journey online. At first, no one noticed. His website had 3 visitors, him, his mom, and probably a random web crawler. But Daniel didn't care about the numbers. For the first time, he wasn't waiting for someone else's approval. He was creating his own opportunities. He was building his own table instead of begging for a seat at someone else's. Slowly, things started to change. One person left a positive comment on his blog. Then another. A small online community started to form around his work. People were drawn to his honesty and his perseverance. He shared his story of failures, the rejections, the night on the park bench. His vulnerability became his greatest strength. People connected with his struggle because they saw their own struggles in his. The rejections hadn't stopped coming entirely. He still faced setbacks. But now, they didn't crush him. Each no was just data. It was feedback telling him to try a different way. He had reframed failure not as an endpoint, but as a stepping stone. 1 year later, an email landed in his inbox. It wasn't from a recruiter. It was from a small company that had been following his blog. The founder loved his passion and his initiative. They weren't offering him a job based on his resume. They were offering him a partnership based on the work he had done for himself. The message didn't say, "We regret to inform you." It said, "We've been watching you build, and we want to build with you." Today, Daniel is not just surviving. He is thriving. He co-owns a successful business, doing the work he once only dreamed of. He often looks back at that night, sitting on the edge of his bed, staring at that rejection message. He realizes now that the most important moment of his life wasn't when he finally succeeded, it was when he almost quit, but didn't. It was the moment he decided to get up from that park bench and keep walking, even in the pouring rain. His story isn't about some magical overnight success. It's a story about resilience. It's about the quiet, unseen battles we fight with ourselves every single day. It is about finding the strength to take one more step when every part of you wants to lie down. If you're feeling like Daniel did, if you're staring at your own rejection letters and wondering if you're good enough, remember, your journey is your own. The world might tell you to be realistic, but your dreams are worth fighting for. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of it. The darkest moments are often just before the dawn. So, don't you dare give up. Keep building, keep learning, and keep believing in that person you promised yourself you would become. Thank you for watching.